but Illinois, Taylor, won the toss and deferred. So Duke will get the ball first. David Olano kicking it deep. And this will be a touchback, and the Blue Devils will start on the 25. Well, as Taylor talked about Mensah, and Dusty mentioned the pocket presence, which really stood out when the coaches identified him as their guy. And you look at what he did week 1 against Elon. He completed his final 14 passes and threw for almost 400 yards.
Big arm, can make every throw on the field. One of the big attractions for him and this Duke football team is offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer's philosophy to push the ball down the field. We're going to see Darian Mensah take his shots here today against this Illinois secondary.
And a handoff to Moore, who gets the corner on first down and picks up 8 yards before he's cut down. Let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Well, for the Duke side of things, it's going to be a wide receiver, the Harvard transfer, Cooper Barcade, a huge addition, and the big 6'3", 255-pound running back of Illinois, Caden Fegan.
Here's Moore, the Duke running back, nowhere to go. A flag comes in as he's brought down by DURHAM. Face mask grab.
Personal
there
foul.
by the defense.
Face mask. Defense number 36. 15-yard penalty. First down.
The penetration good by DURHAM, but as he reaches out to grab Moore, grabs a handful of face mask. Costly penalty on second down.
There's Brett Bielema, who's done a tremendous job at Illinois. Year 5 for him, got a new 6-year contract extension. Had great success at Wisconsin. Didn't work out as well as he had hoped at Arkansas, but he's back and one of the top coaches in the country. Moore trying to find a hole, and he's into Illinois territory before he's spilled after a gain of 5. So they're leaning on Jaquez Moore here on this opening drive.
Like the patience of Jaquez Moore. Nothing there initially, chops the feet in the hole, has the vision to find some space and get a nice pickup on first down. He was injured a year ago. He's back, he's healthy, and this Duke offense very excited to have their veteran running back in the fold.
Yeah, missed 8 games last year. 2 years ago, almost 700 yards on the ground. He'll get it again. So a healthy dose of Jaquez Moore, and he's got close to a first down at the 42 of Illinois.
Interior blocking really good inside. It's also a veteran offensive line for Duke. 4 of their 5 starters are back. The center, Matt Craycraft, doing a good job opening up that hole, and continued patience from Jaquez Moore. Back-to-back runs, just allowing those blocks to set up before he has the burst.
And there's an injured Illinois player. It's Caleb Patterson, the corner that made the tackle. It is hot, it is humid, and have to imagine that will play a role throughout today's game. Temperature expected to reach close to 90 degrees here in Durham. Humidity is at 60% right now, and it's 86 right now, but again, expected to get warmer.
Talking with Brett Bielema, he said he's had his eye on the weather in Durham for weeks now. He's been monitoring it, but he said similar weather has been there in Champaign, but he did tell us hydration, a huge point of emphasis, and the ability to roll players, feel like their depth will help allow them to be able to deal with the up-tempo offense Duke presents and also the warm weather they're going to encounter here today. Seen several runs here to start, Dave. That sets up play action. If Illinois starts to creep up, won't be surprised if here in the next few plays we see Darian Mensah in this offense try to utilize some play action.
Although right now, no backs. Empty on first down at the 41. First pass for Mensah, and he has a completion to Hasley, the tight end. And he picks up about 3 yards before he's brought down.
Well, Illinois is a primarily man team. Zone right there, and a really good job by Hasley sitting down in the soft part of the zone, and a quick and easy find for Darian Mensah.
Gave him forward progress all the way to the 35, so actually a 6-yard pickup. Anderson Castle in the game now at running back, and Mensah will keep it, and he's got a huge lane. He slides before the defender comes in for the hit, and he did get enough to move the sticks at the 29.
Well, this is an excellent read by Mensah. Watch him key the defensive end. As that defensive end crashes and closes down, it's an easy decision for him to keep it, get to the edge, and get a nice pickup and another first down.
And here they go with tempo. Castle, the ball carrier, and he gets pushed back at the 26-yard line by Leon Lowry. And we talked about continuity for Illinois. Duke has 4 returning starters on the offensive line, and obviously a new quarterback, but we already touched on Moore's return. They have some new receivers. They feel like they have much more speed on the perimeter, but they feel confident they can run the ball even against a Big Ten front. Mensah to throw. Pocket breaking down. Mensah on the run. Keeps his eyes downfield, but nobody available, so he takes off and scoots out of play. They have lost a yard.
And that's one thing you'll see throughout this ball game. Mensah keeps those eyes down the field. He's got good mobility, pocket awareness, but when he scrambles to throw, doesn't scramble to run. Nice job on the back end of that Illinois defense, sticking with their coverage.
A 1-yard setback. Mensah could have easily just stuck the ball out there as he's heading to the sideline to get back to the line of scrimmage, but did not.
Cooper Barkate, one-on-one coverage. In love what they've seen from him. Might like this matchup.
Mensah facing a 3-man rush. Steps up and takes off and pushed out of bounds. About 3 yards shy of a first down by Malachi Hood. 4th down.
I think this is spot Manny Diaz. You like what you saw on this opening drive. Take the points, bring the field goal unit out, trust your kicker, and come away with success here on this opening drive.
Yeah, Todd Polino, pretty reliable last year. 1 for 2 last week, though. And a 40-yard attempt here. And the kick is good. So a good start for the home team. Duke up 3-0. It'll be Illinois' turn. And veteran quarterback Luke Altmyer in his 3rd year as the starting signal caller for the Illini, next from Durham. All right, Matt, obviously a struggle for Arch week 1 in the loss in Columbus. So it'll be a touchback, and Illinois will start on the 25. And Luke Altmyer mentioned this at the start of the telecast. Last year was one of the most improved players in all of college football.
Efficient. Started making better decisions. You can really circle all the way back to the 4-interception performance in 23 against Penn State. Gotten so much better from that. He's got a ton of confidence. Talking with him this week, you could just feel the confidence, the comfort, and the maturity in this veteran quarterback.
He'll hand it off to Lawfery on first down, able to break a tackle and dive to the 30. You mentioned the game against Penn State. The reason that you did is because Manny Diaz, who's now the head coach at Duke, was the defensive coordinator that day for Penn State. And both teams spent a lot of time watching that film from a few years ago in preparation for this game.
Same scheme for Illinois offensively, same scheme you'll see defensively from this Duke team.
Altmyer fires complete. First down near midfield to Hank Beatty. Gain of 20 on the play.
This is an excellent throw. Kendall Johnson, the linebacker, just gets frozen. And an absolute dart to Hank Beatty. Had an excellent week 1 and off to a good start here.
Illinois goes with tempo. Lawfery dragged down for a 2-yard loss in the backfield by Kendall Johnson. Good penetration by the front for Duke. They were among the nation's leaders in tackles for a loss a year ago.
That's what they do. They're going to move up front. They're going to get vertical. They're going to try to create disruption and negative plays. That was Aaron Hall, the senior, who's off to an excellent start. He was dominant against Elon and good penetration to set up that TFL.
Duke showing pressure, and Altmyer with a quick throw, and it's high and incomplete. Intended for Collin Dixon. It'll bring a 3rd down and 13.
3rd and long, an area that this Illinois team would like to stay out of. They want to be a team that's going to stay in front of the chains. Two really good edge rushers for Duke. 97 Wesley Williams, 7 Vincent Anthony. But we talked about the veteran presence of this offensive line for Illinois. But a matchup for these edges, so this Duke defense and this Illinois offense in these situations.
Altmyer changing things up. They have full confidence in his ability to do that. Facing a 4-man rush. Altmyer hit in the pocket and sacked back at the 40. Vincent Anthony, who had a sack last week as well.
It's his length and the bend around the edge. He's 6'6", 260, and a nice get off, and he gets the rip up on the excellent left tackle, J.C. Davis. Watch him work here. Watch the bend off the edge. He gets low, and it's tough for a 6'6" frame to get low, but when that rip comes up, bends that edge, Davis can't get his knees down, and a big sack on 3rd down for Duke.
Crimmins takes the high snap and gets the kick away. And Brown lets it go. Illinois cannot track it down before it reaches the end zone. Touchback, it will come out to the 20. And time now for another edition of Dusty's Defensive Dudes.
Well, we got some dudes in this game, and it starts on the Illinois defense. One of the premier pass rushers in the Big Ten, Gabe Jacas. He is so powerful and dominant with his hands at the line of scrimmage. And we've already seen Vincent Anthony Jr. I think he is primed for a breakout season for this Duke defense. That length is so hard for offensive tackles to deal with, but dealing with Gabe Jacas is a problem for everybody. 7 sacks last year in the Big Ten, and it's going to be a real factor throughout this game, not just against the pass, but also against the run. 17 can be a game record for this Illinois defense.
Duke will run it on 1st down with Moore, and he gets nothing. Dropped at the point of attack by James Thompson, a 5-year player at Wisconsin who transferred to Illinois in the offseason. Duke up 3-0, aided by a face mask penalty on Illinois that gave them 15 yards, put them in field goal range. 40-yard field goal by Todd Polino. 2nd possession for Duke here in the 1st quarter. And Mensah to throw. Checks it down to Moore. And Moore bounces off one tackler. He'll come up a couple of yards shy of a 1st down.
And again, zone coverage on this 2nd down. And one of the things, talking with Jonathan Brewer, how do you beat the zone? You got to take what the defense gives you and sometimes check it down. A smart decision, get it to your back, and now set up 3rd and very manageable for this Duke offense.
Well, the coaches told us yesterday, along with his great pocket presence, he's very smart. Not easy to come in, especially when you're making a lot more money than everybody else, to have the locker room trust you immediately. But they did. We talked to a couple players about that. Mensah leaving the pocket, being chased, and throws it away before he's sacked. Dylan Rosiak had the pressure, and Duke will have to punt.
Well, this is a great job in coverage. Illinois, where they're comfortable, defensive coordinator Aaron Henry, he loves to go man-to-man, and it's just great coverage all over the place. Everybody's locked up. Nowhere for Darian Mensah to go with the football. These Duke receivers, can they create separation? No separation created. Everybody's covered. Everybody's covered. And then you see the pursuit. Nowhere for Mensah to go. Excellent 3rd down defense for Illinois.
Hank Beatty, who broke Red Grange's punt return yard record for a single game last week, is back. He won't get a chance at it. Short kick. It'll be Illinois ball when we come back to Durham.
ESPN College Football is presented by Serve Pro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration, and in part by Buffalo Wild Wings.
That win over South Carolina was Illinois' first ever against an SEC team. Brett Bielema in year 5, after Illinois was one of the worst teams in the country for a 5-year span, has the Illini ranked 11th. They were preseason number 12, their highest since 1990. The last time they've been in the top 10 was back in 2001. After the punt, they'll start this drive on their 27, trailing 3-0 here at Duke. And Altmyer to the air, his third pass attempt, and it's over the outstretched arm of Collin Dixon, incomplete. Well, last year was a historical season for Illinois. 10 wins, tied for most in school history. 4 wins against ranked teams, also tied for most in school history. We talked about the win over South Carolina. They also had 5 fourth-quarter comeback wins, the most in the country.
5-1 in one-score games. Good, disciplined football teams find a way to win close games, and it's great coaching. Brett Bielema, a big-time coach, and the job he's done in Illinois, really tough to put into terms, the improvement we've seen.
Here's a jet sweep to Khalil Valentine. They love to get the ball in his hands out in space. He's a tailback, but they feel like he can catch the ball. That will go down as a reception, and a short gain, 3rd and long.
Last 3rd and long situation we saw, these pass rushers of Duke pin their ears back. It was Vincent Anthony Jr., but there's also the heavy-handed Wesley Williams on the opposite side. It's the plan to slow down these edge rushers for this Duke defense.
Altmyer surveying, throwing incomplete, knocked down by Kimari Robinson on the pass intended for Dixon. There is a penalty flag, and it's way downfield near the 50-yard line.
A lot of grabbing by Robinson at the top of that route.
Well, they just picked up the flag and moved it closer to where that pass was thrown.
Pass interference, defense, number 16. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. 1st down.
And I said number 16, but I think he meant number 5.
Mari Robinson working on Dixon. That left hand right on the neck, back of the neck area. He was pulling, grabbing. That's what drew the flag.
And number 16 is a backup quarterback. He was not out on the field, so that was definitely on Robinson, the corner. Now 6'3", 255-pound tailback Caden Fagan in the game for Illinois. They fake it to him. Altmyer throws a slant, and it's caught, and then the ball's fumbled and recovered by Duke. Elsie coughed it up. Deshaun Stone comes up with the recovery.
Well, Caleb Weaver, the Sam Houston State transfer, who coaches told us a great addition, punches this ball free after the catch by Elsie. The simple slant, a strike thrown. That ball.
It was a completed pass followed by a fumble, recovered by the defense. It plays under further review. Timeout on the field.
Possession by Malik Elsie before that ball came loose.
He definitely was juggling it at one point. The question is, was that after he had secured it? And they're going to take a look here, so we'll step away. If the call is upheld, it's going to be Duke ball at midfield. Replay overturns the call on the field. Never had control of the ball, did Elsie. It's incomplete.
Yeah, it's the right call on the field. One thing Elsie's got to do, pluck that ball with his hands. For young receivers everywhere, don't let that ball in your body. Strong hands, and make a catch in that situation.
So now it's 2nd and 10 with Duke stacking the box defensively. And Fagan the ball carrier, and it's not easy to bring him down in the hole. But Wes Williams, you talked about those strong hands. He was able to grab him and rip him to the ground.
Fagan, 6'3", 255, one of the bigger body running backs you'll see in college football, but he's got sweet feet and vision. Thought we'd see a heavier dose of him early in this game. We haven't. Now yet another 3rd and long situation here for this Illinois offense. 3rd time we've seen 3rd and 8+ already in this 1st quarter. They like to show pressure, then they're going to bail out. A little cat and mouse game here with Duke defense and Luke Altmyer checking at the line.
Now the play clock down to 4. Altmyer looking in trouble, steps up and spun down for a sack. It's sack number 2 for Vincent Anthony Jr.
Well, you're going to see all these bodies at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to bail. And you're going to see the pressure come here, but it's going to be Vincent Anthony Jr. off the other edge now who's going to be able to come home. Again, they're showing 7 at the line of scrimmage, 3 drop, 4 come. Can you identify it? What a start to this game for Vincent Anthony Jr.
And a penalty marker thrown. Movement by Illinois pre-snap. Although the last kick by Crimmins went 60 yards, so he could still
offense number 16, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
One of the things we talked with Manny Diaz yesterday about Vincent Anthony Jr., he highlighted Anthony's increased speed. He's a local kid, went to Jordan High School here in Durham, really worked on his game and has become a real threat off the edge for Duke. Many people feel the Blue Devils a dark horse in the ACC race this year after 9 wins a year ago. And it's muffed. The ball's on the ground. Recovered by Illinois. Quayshawn Brown, who had a punt return for a touchdown last week, just had it bounce off his chest. And Tyler Strain gets the fumble recovery for Illinois.
A massive mistake here by Quayshawn Brown. Ball just comes right off his arms, shoulder pads, and this Illinois offense in prime position. Excellent job being down there by Illinois in position to take advantage of the miscue.
We just saw a receiver let the ball come to his chest. I know it's different on a punt return. You wonder, was Quayshawn Brown thinking about making that first guy miss after what he did last week with a punt return for a touchdown rather than securing the ball?
Didn't worry about anything. He had 2 guys sitting right there waiting on him. Should have just secured the punt, unable to do so.
So first down in the red zone to start the possession, and here's Fagan, and he gets drilled. A big hit to the legs, and that's what you need to do if you're Nick Morris Jr. He went in there low on Fagan.
Well, he's one of the leaders of this defense, downhill linebacker who praised his prowess in the weight room, and you got to bring that weight room to the table when you're tackling Caden Fagan. But really impressed so far with this Duke front. That was kind of the question. It's a much bigger, physical Big Ten Illinois offensive line, and so far Duke winning at the line of scrimmage and negating this Illinois rushing attack.
This is play 12, and they've had 7 that have gone for a loss. After the 1-yard setback on 2nd and 11, a quick toss to Beatty out in space, breaks a tackle at the 15, and then finally grabbed at the ankles by Trey Freeman at the 14, a gain of 5, 3rd down and 6.
Seen Hank Beatty become one of the go-to guys in these first 2 games for Luke Altmyer. Veteran seniors, been around this Illinois program. It feels like an important 3rd down here early. You get a gift like that, got to find a way to cash in. Can they convert on a 3rd down? It's been struggle city here so far. Showing pressure here once again.
Altmyer with pressure in his face, steps up and throws to the end zone. It's caught. And it's a touchdown. Justin Bowick caught the ball, and the ruling is he was in the end zone when he did.
Well, Bowick has been a red zone target. Where's the ball when he catches it? That foot's in, but the ball is not in, Dave.
Bowick had 2 touchdowns last week. What a play by Altmyer to step up away from pressure. Ball is clearly short of the goal line, but the feet are in.
I think it's going to be a catch, and they're going to mark it around the 1.5 yard line. But it's going to be enough to move the chains and get the first down. And you touched on it.
4 touchdowns.
Just an outstanding.
So ruling on the field is a touchdown. Every play is reviewed, so they'll look at this further to make sure. Let's bring in Jerry McGinn, our rules expert. Jerry, did you see it the same way we did up here?
After a replay review, it is a completed pass. The ball be placed at the 1 yard line, 1st and goal, Illinois.
That was a nice quick review. Exactly, Dusty. He had control of the ball, but the ball never broke the plane of the goal line. So it was a great quick review by replay.
I do appreciate the expediency of this crew so far. Here's the pressure. This is so good by Luke Altmyer. Watch him sidestep the pressure as it comes barreling down. Sidestep, eyes down the field. Bowick working back to him, resets, and a strike fired to pick up that first down. That's excellent quarterbacking by the veteran senior, Luke Altmyer. No panic, total poise under pressure, and he locates his big target.
It's Fagan straight ahead, and he gets stopped. Great job again up front by Duke against the big tailback. It'll be second down and goal.
Ray Freeman there off the edge. There's just nowhere to go, stacking it up. Got a lot of respect for this Illinois offensive line. We've touched on J.C. Davis, Josh Geske, left guard, Love, Josh Kreutz, the tough veteran center, the two-time captain on the interior. But right now, they're getting stymied at the point of attack.
They go with 6 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends and a fullback here on second and goal.
It's got to go to 3, right?
It will, and Fagan gets hit but falls forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Illinois. It wasn't really working with the basic formation, so they brought in the ultra jumbo package there with the extra linemen, couple of tight ends and a fullback, and finally Fagan able to find his way forward for Pater.
Nick Morris in position. He was trying to come downhill, slightly overran the play, and doesn't bring enough to the table to bring down Fagan.
So Illinois capitalizes on the turnover by Duke inside its own 20. And Alano gets the extra point to go. Crimmins, the holder, had a little trouble with the snap, but the kick is good.
Big touchdown here for Illinois. It all started, though, with Quayshawn Brown unable to field this punt. Calls for the fair catch. He's not thinking anything but catch the ball. Bobbles the ball. Really nice job by Illinois getting on top of it, but the poise from Luke Altmyer, pressure in his face, steps up. An excellent catch working back to the football by Justin Bowick. And boy, if you're around the goal line, not many bigger and better in these situations than Caden Fagan, who powers his way into the end zone.
It was really interesting talking with Luke Altmyer this week, and what we just saw there, we would not have seen 2 years ago. In fact, he told us prior to that at Ole Miss, he said, I failed. And I questioned if I belonged in college football when I came to Champaign 2 years ago. But it has been an incredible metamorphosis as he has turned into one of the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
And he credits Brett Bielema. He credits his pastors, his sports psychologists. And he's really worked hard on building that confidence and becoming the player that he is today.
Higgins will let this one go over his head for a touchback. Let's check in with Matt Barry now in the studio.
Subway, fresh play, and E.J. Manuel. Rejoice, exhale, however you like it. Arch finally gets one by going to Parker Livingston.
And this is a great play call by Texas right here. You got the run out right there by Ron Wingo, allowing Livingstone to get open. He takes it to the rest of the way for the crib.
They just got an interception on defense, so Arch back in the field in the red zone. We'll show you that if anything happens. Kind of a name-your-number day for Penn State taking on FIU. That's Khalil Dinkins for 6, 7-0 Nittany Lions.
All right, Matt, and here it's 7-3 Illinois. After the turnover by Duke deep in its own end. Mensah going to work now for the Blue Devils on the rollout. Goes to the second level and hits Barcade. He steps out of bounds right at the 35. Got the first down.
They love this addition of Cooper Barcade from Harvard. They told us an elite route runner. Really nice job with the route there coming open. And you see the accuracy on the move from Mensah.
FCS All-America at Harvard, graduated in 3 years, and what a debut against Elon. Mensa off play action, setting up. And again, dumping it down. It's Nate Shepard, the true freshman running back. He's stopped immediately after the catch, a gain of a couple.
Zone coverage once again. Darian Mensa just trying to stay patient. Nothing down the field, not forcing the football. And once again, taking his check down, but good job rallying to the ball by Illinois on a minimal gain.
Mensa, another pass play, quick release, and a strike for a first down out near midfield. Jaden Moore, who had 3 catches last week, gets his first one today.
Well, zone coverage once again, and it's the youngster, Jaden Moore. Really does an excellent job. Watch him just sit down right here in the soft part of the zone. He finds space, and good timing here from Mensa to Moore.
Now they'll run it. Shepard downhill. And close to a first down, tripped up at the 41 and what could be the final play of the first quarter. Although Duke trying to get one snap here before the clock hits triple zeros on 2nd down and 1. And Mensa throws complete. Andrel Anthony, a 2-time transfer who played at Michigan and Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, those teams play tonight on ABC. With a first down catch and with 1 quarter in the books, Duke trying to pull the upset over number 11 Illinois, trailing here in Durham 7-3. The second quarter in Durham with number 11 Illinois leading Duke 7-3. Moments ago, Taylor caught up with Blue Devil head coach Manny Diaz.
Coach, it seems like you guys have offensively been able to get into a rhythm this drive. What has allowed for that?
We won P10. Really good play call, get the ball on the perimeter. They're doing a good job of mixing up their looks. They have a lot of respect for us and the way we can throw the football. But I think Darian is calm, he's cool, and we're getting a drive going.
Year 2 for Diaz, 9-4 last year. Mensa on the move again, and he throws deep, and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Barkate, looked like a catchable pass. That's just the second incompletion for Darian Mensa in his last 22 attempts going back to week 1.
Wow, is it a great ball from Darian Mensa rolling to his right. He puts it in a perfect spot, and Barkate just unable to bring it in. Coverage was pretty good. That pass only where his receiver could catch it, but Barkate unable to come up with the catch.
Illinois taking its sweet time with its substitutions, and they snap it. There was an extra man on the field, so a flag is down. Not sure why the Illinois player, Brett Bielema, thought that they should be allowed to substitute because his player was sauntering off the field. He was not sprinting.
Illegal substitution, 12 players on the field, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Coach Bielema, as you mentioned, he is not
He wasn't within the 3-second window I had already turned.
It's not just the heat here in Durham. Angelo McCullum trotting off the field, but they haven't stopped play, and Duke smartly snaps it and draws the flag.
So that'll put the ball on the 26-yard line of Illinois, 2nd down and 5. Nate Shepard up the middle. Falls forward for a couple. We touched on Manny Diaz and the success he had last year. We asked him, how did you know? How did you identify so quickly that Darian Mensa was your quarterback? He talked about his skill set, but then he also said, like us, he's got a chip on his shoulder and he really fits our culture.
That's what he said. He said he fits in perfectly there at Duke. And chip on his shoulder. Manny Diaz has a chip on his shoulder. Remember, he was previously the head coach at Miami. He thought he ended his tenure there, winning 5-6 in a good way, gets let go, goes to Penn State. He's learned, he's got more experience, and he's really got this program in a good spot here, year number 2.
And 3rd and 2, Castle driving the legs, gets the first down to the 20-yard line.
How about the sweet feet here by the App State transfer, Anderson Castle. Most physical running back, but it's the footwork. Whoop. Well, jump cut to the right. Avoids the penetration and moves the chains for Duke.
And here he is again. And, oh, he gets popped by Dylan Rosiak, but just bounced off him. One of the things when the coaches were describing Anderson Castle they did not mention yesterday was his feet. They talked about his toughness. He was a high school running quarterback, just a bull, a short yardage back. And you saw that physicality there on that last play. Rosiak, who had the hit, got the worst of it. But it was the great athletic movement on the last carry. Got an injured Illinois defensive lineman, James Thompson Jr. He missed 10 games last year at Wisconsin due to injury. They'll check on him and we'll step away.
Welcome back here to North Carolina. On the sideline, Dylan Rosiak, linebacker for Illinois, getting evaluated by trainers. They took him into the tent moments ago, and now he's walking down the sideline. He's been holding his left leg, so something to monitor amongst the linebacking core for Illinois.
That's a lot to monitor. Taylor, two-time captain, the meat and potatoes of this defense. Aaron Henry said Rosiak makes this defense go. They need him back on the field in this game.
At least he's out of the tent now, as you just saw. 2nd down and 9. And Duke will keep it on the ground with Moore, who's able to get the edge. Stays in bounds at the 10. And then chopped out at about the 8-yard line by Miles Scott. It'll be 1st and goal for Duke.
What's Landon King on the perimeter, the tight end, does a nice job here getting just enough of the edge player. And watch the slight hesitation from Jaquez Moore. Slow plays it, and then the burst, and he's able to get to the perimeter and move the chains.
Duke with 58 rushing yards. Illinois has -6 so far here in the first half. Mensah, pump fake, turns the other way, lobs into the end zone. Dropped, incomplete. Landon King couldn't hang on. There are flags on the field. So 2 drops here on this drive by Duke. Great call by Jonathan Brewer, the offensive coordinator. Executed beautifully by Mensah. King just put it on the ground. Duke had a drop touchdown last week.
He knows where receiver downfield. Offense number 53. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Offense number 85. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Boy, that's a big penalty, taking him from the 8 to the 23. That was the tight end Jeremiah Hasley with a pass interference.
And it's the right tackle, Brian Parker. He's going to get up the field, and they're going to draw the flag. I love the play design here. Not executed properly, but Brian Parker gets up the field. Alec Bryant gets that pull, draws the flag, but a mistake by a veteran offensive lineman and Brian Parker being down the field.
Although that one was declined, they called the pass interference on Hasley. You could clearly see that there in the middle of the screen. So it's 1st and goal now from the 23. Mensah, wide receiver screen. Hagens with the catch. And he gets ripped to the ground by Caleb Patterson. Back out there after getting shaken up in the 1st quarter.
Good strong hands there by Hagens to come up with that football.
Hagens 47 catches a year ago. Mensah 5 of 6 on this drive. And again, the one incompletion was the drop by Barcade on a beautiful throw downfield. And Illinois taking a long time to substitute. This time the officials are letting them do it. Not allowing Duke to snap the ball. Mensah launches it into the end zone. A lot of contact. The ball thrown out of bounds. Intended for Quayshawn Brown. Xavier Scott in coverage. No flag.
Quayshawn Brown's got great speed. He's working on one of the best safeties in the Big Ten, Xavier Scott. I mean, there's a little contact.
Both guys, though.
I didn't see anything egregious to draw the flag.
Yeah, both guys kind of hand fighting.
First team all Big Ten. The secondary, Xavier Scott. I agree with the no call there. And a good job down the field in coverage as Mensah tries to take a shot.
Now 3rd and goal on the 18 of Illinois.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So because Illinois is taking so long with its substitutions, the play clock is winding down and Duke can't snap the ball, and now it's 3rd and goal from the 23.
Wow. The cat and mouse game here with Brett Bielema late on subbing his guys out, but if Duke changes personnel, Illinois got the opportunity.
Mensah on the rollout. Throws it inside the 10. Barkay caught it that time, but he was out of bounds, so it's an incomplete pass and will be another 40-yard field goal try for Todd Polino.
And this pass just sails on Darian Mensah. He's got Barkay open. Pass too high, wide, and outside, and draws his receiver out of bounds. Seen him move to his right a lot and throw the football. This one just gets away from him a little bit.
And Polino buries that one as well. Duke back within 1 early in the 2nd quarter here at Duke. Our rules analyst Jerry McGinn. Jerry, this is something Illinois does with the delayed substitution. What's allowed in that situation?
So, Dave, this is one of the points of emphasis for the officials this year, is the defensive substitution process. So the defense can sub, and they'll have the time to substitute if the offense is subbing. But they only have a 3 count to do it. Illinois is working within the rules, and they're usually at about a 2 count when they start to send their sub process in, which is legal. The one thing that the officials have to watch for today is the double sub on the defense, where Illinois will send in a group and then wait another 2 seconds, 2 count, and then send in another, expecting that the officials will hold them up, which they cannot. So in that point, they will be, the officials will let the play go, and then Illinois will have a foul.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Good explanation. Little scuffle, post whistle, everything's okay. So we'll keep an eye on that when Illinois is back on defense. Right now, let's talk Illinois offense and Luke Altmyer. Here's Taylor.
Dave, we've talked all afternoon about how Altmyer has really grown mentally. He has a reminder on his left wrist. It's the Hebrew translation for toughness. It's something that he reminds himself of, is you are how you prevail in difficult moments. He feels like none of his skill sets have changed in the last few years, but it's his mental attitude that has.
And here, Taylor, he throws incomplete behind Hudson Clement. He's been pressured a lot. You wonder if that's starting to get to him. But that mental toughness that Taylor talked about is a big reason why he is a transformed person, not just a quarterback. That's what he told us when we talked to him this week, from what he was when he got to Champaign. And a penalty marker down. Movement by Illinois.
Tight end on the left side. Arkin a little early.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
One of the real surprising things so far, almost 19 minutes into this game, Illinois' inability to run the football whatsoever. I mean, Duke up front, and they hang their hat on their front 7 and create negative plays, but with the continuity of this offensive line, the physicality that they run with, just the inability to run the football, it's been pretty jarring here early on for this Illinois offense.
Giving up the 2 sacks, -6 rushing yards on 2nd and 15. Altmyer just 4 for 8 passing. He won't even get a chance because he's sacked for a 3rd time by Vincent Anthony Jr. Trey Freeman was back for Duke as well around Altmyer.
We call it running the hoop. Watch him bend this edge again to get his 3rd sack of the day. He's going to dip, rip, get underneath J.C. Davis, and it's like stealing an easy sack. 3 already in this first half. They got to get a better plan. J.C. Davis has been beat twice. The second one, they tried to use a tight end and a running back. They need to figure something out up front to slow down this pass rush of Duke.
And here they come again. Altmyer got hit as he released the pass. And loose down the sideline is Hudson Clement. Got the first down and more. All the way out past the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 33 yards.
Well, how about this bone-crushing block? The left tackle, J.C. Davis, he's struggling in pass pro, but superb right there, setting up and springing the yards after the catch for Hudson Clement. The big man, the all-Big Ten offensive tackle, getting on the third level and putting Deshaun Stone into the turf.
Again, Altmyer did a good job on that wide receiver screen to get rid of it before he got leveled. Valentine off the left edge and shoved out of bounds past midfield in Duke territory. Gain of 11 and a first down for the Illini.
But now J.C. Davis is feeling it. Watch the big left tackle get this kick out right here and spring this big hole off the left side to allow Valentine to accelerate, show that burst, and really the most successful run we've seen from this Illinois offense here today.
They went from -12 to -1 total rushing yards on that one play. Got a stoppage of play here.
Previous plays under further review for potential targeting.
This was something that was instituted a couple years ago, that replay can initiate a targeting call, because there was no targeting call on the field. And it was on the run play by Valentine off the left side, got hit as he went out of play. We saw the lowering of the head by the defender, Caleb Weaver.
You know I do, Barry, especially with Pash over here. He's always keeping an eye on his cues.
So the ruling on the field is upheld. No targeting. They say the defender, Caleb Weaver, got him with the side of the helmet, not the crown, because the runner was not defenseless at that point, so it had to be crown of the helmet for it to be targeting. Back to the ground game, and another negative play offensively for Illinois. Nick Morris Jr. whacks Loffery 3 yards in the backfield.
Well, Nick Morris Jr. shot out of a cannon, flying downhill, reading this the whole way. They try to pull the center, Josh Kreutz. Nobody identifies Nick Morris Jr. flying downhill. And another tackle for loss. 5 now for this Duke defense.
Duke unranked, Illinois number 11, preseason number 12. Illinois 10 wins last year, Duke 9 a year ago. Another hit to the quarterback, and the ball pinballs off the receiver, incomplete. The pass broken up by Chandler Rivers, one of the top corners in the country. Justin Bowick, the intended target, as Altmyer takes another shot.
With Chandler Rivers, one of the best corners in the country. He's a third-team All-American yesterday. Just really tight, good coverage, getting to PBU. And here we are again, 3rd and long. The only answer we've seen so far was that screen to Clement. You better have a plan for number 7, Vincent Anthony Jr. He's feeling it right now off the edge.
He's got 3 sacks here in the first half. Altmyer has time to throw and has a completion to Bowick, who stretches out, and it's going to be short by a yard, 4th down.
When they slide protection to his side now, and they get the protection that they need, they allow Luke Altmyer the time, finds Bowick, and Illinois going to go for it here on 4th and short.
You like it?
I do. I like the call here. You got a 255-pound running back. Give it to him.
And Altmyer looking to the sideline, and it hit 15 right now. He didn't hear it. Once it hits 15, that communication shuts off between the offensive coordinator and the quarterback. And so Altmyer didn't know what the call was. So the Illini will have 2 timeouts remaining. That was new last year in college football. It's always been an NFL rule where you have the option, you will be able to talk to the quarterback, communication device, until 15 on the play clock, and that's where the confusion came. It was too tight there, and all of a sudden the comm shut off, and Altmyer didn't know the call.
Well, he wanted audible. I think you saw the pressure coming up, and he looked audible, and then clearly from the sidelines they wanted to get a timeout.
Well, coming up later on ABC, Ole Miss, as part of Lane Kiffin's revenge tour, going to Lexington trying to knock off Kentucky. Rebels lost at home last year to Kentucky. And then tonight, Michigan, Oklahoma, ABC, and the all-new ESPN app. You live in Norman, so you probably know more about John Mateer than anybody. What do you think so far?
He looked great in the opener. And the guy is so good on the move, accuracy down the field. I think he'll be more of a runner in this game. But boy, Bryce Underwood was outstanding in his opening debut against New Mexico, throwing the football. And a big play coming right here on 4th down.
And the fullback Jordan Anderson in, and the 255-pound Caden Fagan is the tailback. And it's going to be Anderson, and he's able to muscle his way to the line to gain at the 38-yard line. Anderson's listed as a tight end on the roster, but he gets the carry there and moves the chains midway through the second quarter with Illinois up 1.
Little fullback dive there. He's lined up offset. They give him the football, and it's a good job after contact, kind of spinning and leaning forward and getting enough to move the sticks.
This is the best drive today by Illinois. If you're just joining us, their first and only touchdown came when Duke muffed a punt inside its 20. They're finally able to get something going with the ground game, which has helped the quarterback. Altmyer, play fake, hit as he throws, and it's pulled in inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line is Collin Dixon, who the coaches say is special, and he's been targeted a ton here in the first half.
Well, when they can protect for Luke Altmyer, good things can happen, and it's man-to-man coverage, and Dixon just running away from Kamari Robinson, and a dart delivered from Luke Altmyer.
Gain of 33, and it's first down and goal at the Duke 5. Same formation in the backfield they had on that 4th down and 1 conversion. Play fake. Altmyer facing pressure again from Anthony, who's got 3 sacks, and so he has to throw it away. A flag is down, and Anthony getting into a shoving match with an Illinois offensive lineman behind the Duke bench, as the Illini did not like the way Anthony shoved Altmyer out of bounds. That was Josh Kreutz, their center.
Holding. Offense number 58, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The hold's on the right tackle, Melvin Priestley. And no penalty marker for the extracurricular activity out of bounds.
Priestley just going to get him with the hold on 4 Josiah Green. Hand just outside the framework. I got to tell you, I'm surprised they didn't get Vincent Anthony Jr. with a late, really close. I mean, he makes that contact once he's out of bounds. I love Josh Kreutz going to the defense of his quarterback.
A first and goal from the 15, and it's Laffery. And he's able to break an arm tackle and get down to the 9. As somebody that knows Josh's dad, Olin, quite well, because you played together with the Bears, I know you're not surprised that he went to the aid of his quarterback after Altmyer got shoved out, perhaps late, by Anthony.
I would imagine Dad is watching at home and very proud of watching what Josh is doing. And Olin, his father, the toughest player I ever played with and one of the best leaders I've been around. And when you watch Josh Kreutz on film, boy, he is a carbon copy of his father. And talking with his quarterback, his head coach, they love what their center provides to this team.
Well, he's out because he lost his helmet, so they've got the backup T.J. McMillan in its center for this one play. Altmyer throws behind the receiver, but it's caught by Dixon, dragged down at the 8-yard line by Stone, bringing up 3rd and goal.
Great pursuit to the football, good tackling on the perimeter. We're trying to identify Justin Bowick in this spot. Big wide receiver, been a red zone target for this offense. A big catch earlier. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener. Bottom of your screen.
Altmyer looking and throws high, but it's caught. And it's a touchdown. Cole Rusk able to hang on to the ball as he hit the pylon in the back corner.
Well, Christian Abney, you're going to see him just working right here. Going to work on two. The ball placement of this pass is perfection. Up high and away from the defender. Allow his big tight end to go get it. It's Cole Rusk bringing that catch in, and a huge touchdown.
And the extra point is good. Rusk missed all of last year with a torn ACL. He is back and in a big way. As you said, Dusty, great grab after the gorgeous throw by Altmyer to make it 14-6. That was a 6-minute drive, 12 plays, 75 yards.
The size mismatch on Francois at 5'10", the 6'5", Cole Rusk. And boy, what a possession that was for Luke Altmyer. They got set up with the big screen, then a couple of nice passes down the field. An absolute dime on third down on the touchdown. They were struggling on third down going into that drive, but they were excellent down the field when they needed it the most.
And just the ability to run the ball a little has helped Altmyer. It's helped the offensive line. He did get hit a couple times, but showed a lot of toughness hanging in there despite several shots on that possession. Lead is 8 now for the Illini. Duke has lost 15 of its last 16 against ranked teams. Beat Clemson here on a Monday night 2 years ago. They haven't beaten a non-ACC ranked team in over 50 years. Touchback. Take a look at today's road test brought to you by Goodyear. And so far on the road, certainly on that drive, Illinois looked good offensively.
And especially on third down. This is third and super long. Set up the screen. J.C. Davis gets a huge block to help spring Clement. Finally saw them be able to establish and get a little bit of a run game there for Valentine. We had heard a lot about Collin Dixon. He makes a big catch down the field, and you cap it off with a touchdown pass to Cole Rusk. Best drive we've seen from Illinois all day.
And from Altmyer, 81 yards through the air on that drive. Now Darian Mensah's turn, and he throws it deep, caught at the 45-yard line, and loose is Chase Tyler inside the 20. They finally track him down at the 15. Duke comes right back with an answer.
Well, initially it looked like an overthrow to Quayshawn Brown, but Chase Tyler just sitting there wide open. An excellent speed after the catch on the explosive play.
That was a 62-yard pass play. And now Peyton Jones gets the carry. And there's nothing there off the left side with Illinois' front led by Gentle Hunt. What a great name for a D lineman making the play there.
Not very gentle there on first down. Plays with really good pad leverage, active inside. Only 5'11", and a nice stop in that initial play.
But how about Darian Mensah keeping his eyes downfield a couple times in this game, right? Could have taken that short throw.
Been really good on the move to his right with accuracy.
Mensah throwing again into the end zone. Incomplete. Well, Hasley looked like he had a chance, but Matthew Bailey in coverage may have gotten a piece of the football, and it's third down.
Matthew Bailey's in great position here, and that ball just a little bit too far for Hasley. He's throwing that back pylon. Hasley's got a step. That's a catchable football.
I mean, I don't know how we can throw any better than that.
Great throw from Darian Mensah. The coverage is good. The throw was better, but Hasley unable to bring it in.
That's 3 drops now for Duke. Not helping their quarterback.
We haven't heard Gabe Jacas much today. Defense could use him right here on third down to get a pass rush off the right side.
On 3rd and 10 from the 13. Mensah stepping up in trouble, gets hit backside, has the ball chopped out, and Illinois got it. Recovered by Bailey. And it was Gabe Jacas who had the strip sack for Illinois.
Well, Mintza's going to move to his left, and it's the second effort by Gabe Jacas. He doesn't win clean, but he stays with it, and he punches this ball out. 6 career forced fumble. Just stay with it. Once you get to the past the quarterback, shut it down, work back, and don't just get to the cue, punch it out. It's crazy. We were talking with Brett Bielema yesterday. This is something he's continued to work on, and Brett Bielema was harping on him. When you get there, get that ball out. We see the break that ball loose, and the first takeaway of the day for the Illinois defense. They were able to get the muffed punt earlier, but that's a takeaway, a giveaway from Duke early, and a huge takeaway here late in this second quarter.
Altmyer off the fingertips of Beatty, incomplete. I mean, Dusty, you played the NFL. You played with some great edge rushers. I mean, isn't that what the great ones do? They chop the ball out.
You don't just get there. Once you get to the quarterback, sacks are great. You know what's even better than that? Sack strip fumbles, and that's exactly what we see there from Gabe Jacas. He has worked on it. He has worked on it, and now his second forced fumble in as many games to kick off 2025.
Another pass play, pressure off the edge. Altmyer's pass behind the intended target, Dixon. He could not come up with it. Flags are down. Altmyer got level. Chandler Rivers, a cornerback, was coming off the edge for Duke, and Altmyer was slow to get up.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 0 with a low hit to the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And they bring the corner blitz, and it's the All-American Chandler Rivers, and this is just going to be a low hit on the quarterback. See him go low, get at the knee and below. They're going to protect the quarterbacks at all costs. You've got to keep that up high if you're Chandler Rivers.
So instead of 3rd down and 10, it is 1st down at the Illinois 33. 2 timeouts remaining. 3:48 to go in the first half. Here's Khalil Valentine. No running room. Stepped up at the 30. Another negative play caused by that Duke front 7. That was Kendall Johnson.
But it's the whole defensive front. It's Aaron Hall getting that penetration. The linebackers flying downhill. They've been really good in the first half of this game. Now 7 tackles for loss for this Duke defense.
Altmyer audibling with a play clock now at 5. On 2nd and 12, has a completion to Beatty, and he's got a first down. We asked Coach Bielema yesterday about those game-winning drives last year, 5 of them, and as you watch the replay here, Bielema told us the reason was Luke Altmyer, and it's plays like that, Dusty, checking into the right play, making the right decision.
Open space. I love after the catch. Hank Beatty catches that pass, and he gets north and south immediately. Nice pickup after the catch by the veteran receiver.
But the trust they have in Altmyer to do the right thing, make the right decisions. He's basically, as Fagan, the ball carrier, gets to the 48. He'll come in and present to the coaches. A lot of quarterbacks do that, but his have been about 40, 45 minutes, and they have full confidence that he can handle anything they give him.
He prepares as well as anybody. He's got a full plan for end of half, end of game scenarios. They go through it. As you mentioned, he presents that to the staff. They work through it. The preparation, such a key to the success for Luke Altmyer.
And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. Illinois trying to get in scoring position to add to an 8-point lead. 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Everything is better with it.
All right, Matt, Penn State ranked 2nd. You got the top 2 teams in the country, both from the Big Ten. 3 of the top 6, 4 of the top 11, including these Fighting Illini. Fagan driven down at the line of scrimmage, bringing up 3rd and short.
More penetration from this Duke front. He just struggled to get much movement up front. And change out some personnel, going to spread it out a little bit.
3 for 6 on 3rd down. Need to get to the 44 of Duke. And another timeout here by Illinois. The play clock
Charge
was
timeout,
winding
Illinois.
down.
Their second. This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the telecast that for the first time in 20 years, the expectations for Illinois are at an all-time high. And you know, they don't play Penn State, they don't play Oregon, they have Ohio State at home. This would be a huge resume builder. And so far, really, the story is they're taking advantage of Duke's giveaways.
That's exactly right. Well, the first one was a straight giveaway, right? When you muff that punt by Brown and you give prime real estate to Illinois and they cash in, give them credit. But then the other one was a true takeaway. Gabe Jacas working back, knocking that ball loose. But that is the difference in this ball game here. 2 takeaways, 2 turnovers from Duke, and Illinois taking advantage of that. And here on the move, trying to cash in yet again on the second turnover and trying to get more points here to pad before halftime.
1 timeout left for Illinois, 3 left for Duke.
Because aside from that, I got to imagine this game has gone exactly the way Manny Diaz would have wanted it to. Defense has played well. They've slowed down the run game. But turnovers will kill you, and it's been very costly in this first half.
Duke coming after Altmyer, and he's in trouble and sacked back at the 40-yard line by Kendall Johnson to force a punt.
Well, they just loaded up, went 0, and brought the house up front. It's interior pressure from Josiah Green, and then pressure off the edge from Kendall Johnson. You see the inside pressure, but ultimately it's Johnson off the edge that's able to get Altmyer to the ground. The inside pressure forces the movement from Altmyer, but another good stop here from this Duke defense. Wisely a timeout for Duke as they want to get the ball back in their quarterback's hand to try to get some points on the board before the half.
So Johnson now with 2 tackles for a loss and that sack. 8 tackles for a loss in all. They were second in the country last year in that category. They averaged 3 sacks per game last year, and they've got 4 here. You mentioned the smart timeout by Duke. They have 2 left, 1:17 on the clock. Quayshawn Brown, who had that muff punt, is the deep man. He also had a punt return for a touchdown last week. Short kick moving forward is Brown, and in traffic he secures that one. Kick off your Week 1 NFL Sunday with the latest on Green Bay Packer pass rusher, sorry Dusty Cowboy fan, Micah Parsons, and the inspiring comeback of Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions, 10 a.m. on ESPN. Then the 56th season of Monday Night Football kicks off with the Vikings and Bears. The J.J. McCarthy era is underway in Minnesota, and Caleb Williams trying to have a better second season in Chicago than his rookie year. Also Peyton and Eli on ESPN2.
As a former Bear, I can't wait to see what Caleb Williams looks like in his second season. It wasn't just me upset about that trade from Dallas. Wesley Williams, Duke defensive end, a big Cowboys fan as well.
And Mensah in trouble, has to throw that away. He was getting pressured by a couple of Illinois players. Yeah, Wes Williams told us he still has a Micah Parsons jersey, and he's going to hold on to it even though it's a Cowboys jersey. So 2nd and 10, 1:06 to go. Illinois has 1 timeout left. Duke with 2.
Would be so big if Mensah could navigate down and get some points before the half. A little momentum.
Mensah bouncing around in the pocket and dumps it off to Castle. And he's got a first down. We're inside 2 minutes, so the clock will stop on first downs to move the sticks.
Good decision there by Mensah, surveying the field and finds his check down and gets a first down.
Mensah again from the pocket, throws it deep and overshoots the intended target. Quayshawn Brown. Running stride for stride with him was Xavier Scott, one of the top safeties in the Big Ten.
Xavier Scott's so good in coverage, man. 4 picks a season ago, and he's just step for step. Quayshawn Brown's got real speed, but nowhere to go right there. Excellent job by the senior, one of the best there is in the Big Ten.
Mensah again going downtown. Single coverage deep and another overthrow. Going for Barcade. This time Caleb Patterson running stride for stride with the target. Clock stopped with 42 seconds to go.
No separation there for Barcade. That pass just sailed on Darian Mensah. No chance for the transfer receiver to be able to come up with that.
Illinois had some concern with the speed of the Duke receivers, but that hadn't been an issue in this game.
No, and that was an area that it seemed like Duke felt confident. Maybe they have a step in those man-to-man situations, but Illinois secondary been all over it.
Mensah setting up a wide receiver screen to Jaden Moore, and he's able to break free past the 45 and out of bounds after he got the first down. The clock stops with 35 seconds to go in the half.
Older brother got to be excited what younger brother's doing. Jordan Moore's younger brother, Jaden Moore.
There's an injured Illinois player, Leon Lowry Jr.
Timely call there on third down to set that screen up, and Jaden Moore finds that space and able to get to the edge and get out of bounds, as well as pick up the first down.
You know, Lowry went down immediately, and a lot of the players were signaling to the officials that he's down. The reason they're doing that is because there's a new rule this year in college football that if they place the ball down and you present as injured, it costs you a timeout. But obviously the players are being coached differently now in terms of how to handle that. We just saw that on display there, letting the officials know immediately that he was hurt. Let's bring in Jerry McGinn, the rules analyst, joining us today with more. What do you got, Jerry?
Yes, Dave, you're absolutely correct. That's one of the new rules about faking injuries. So if a player does go down after the ball is spotted, then it would be a timeout or a delay of game. And also, there was a possibility of a 10-second runoff, but since the first down was made, there is no option for a 10-second runoff.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Duke needs to get to about the 35 for Todd Polino, their kicker, whose career long is 53. So about another 16, 17 yards to get closer for Polino, who's 2 for 2 today. Both makes were from 40.
2 timeouts on the clock for Mensah and for Duke. We have plenty of time here to navigate, whether it's field goal situation for Polino, or obviously they'd like more than just a field goal, but a lot of time to work with here for Darian Mensah.
Illinois rushing 5. Mensah going deep again. This time it's caught. Andrell Anthony has it and then goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line with 30 seconds left.
Well, the protection's very good. Good clean pocket and a back shoulder to Andrell Anthony away from the defender, Torrey Cox Jr. And they love to see that. They were excited to get Andrell Anthony. Came in late in the summer, showcases elite vertical speed. Had his first touchdown a week ago since 23. Got emotional about that. This new opportunity and a big catch here before halftime.
Gain of 35 yards. Mensah and dumps it off across the middle. Anthony makes the defender miss and then tumbles to the 15-yard line.
There you go, timeout.
And Duke will. That will leave the Blue Devils with 1 and 23 seconds left. They are obviously in field goal range, but hoping to get more before intermission.
Well, that is a good tackle coming across, Dave, because if Andrell Anthony with his speed and open grass out in front, you don't get him to the turf. Could have been a much bigger play.
Taco Bell Live Más Student Section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year? It's around 90 degrees here in Durham and very humid, but the Duke students have come out to support their team with high hopes for the Blue Devils after a 9-win season last year. And the transfer of Darian Mensah, who so far in this first half has 179 passing yards after 389 last week. Remember, he replaced Malik Murphy, who led Duke to 9 wins last year. Coaches thought he'd be better than Murphy, so Murphy leaves, goes to Oregon State. Mensah from Tulane comes to Durham. Mensah throwing again. has a completion. Higgins gets out of bounds immediately, so they don't have to burn that final timeout, stopping the clock with 19 seconds left, and it's third down.
Smart play right there by a veteran Higgins, getting out of bounds as quickly as he can. Nice pickup.
Mensa rolling left and throwing into the end zone, and Anthony cannot come up with it. Excellent coverage by Torrey Cox Jr. Daniel Brown had pressure, and there's a flag down in the backfield.
This is going to be roughing the passer on Daniel Brown. Just gives a shove well after the pass.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 4. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
No need for it, Dave. No need whatsoever. They got their stop. They did what they needed to do. And Daniel Brown is well after the throw. A shove of Darian Mensa.
Got the technical difficulty because we can't show it to you. They did have it on the Jumbotron here. It was clear. It was a shove, as you mentioned, Dusty. So instead of it being fourth down, the offense stays on the field. 1 timeout left. 14 seconds to go. First and goal on the Illinois 5-yard line.
Cooper Barcade up top in the slot.
Mensa rolls to the right, looking back, throws back at the end zone. Anthony caught it. Did he get a foot down? Waiting for the signal. Yes, he did. Touchdown, Duke, with 8 seconds to go in the half. Somehow, Anthony got a foot down as he secured that pass. And Duke's within 2.
Wow. Little toe tap back in the end zone. Catch. Toe scrapes. You see the turf come up from that right foot.
One on the field was a completed pass for a touchdown. The play's under further review.
Was the ball secured when he had that right foot down?
So close.
Was it moving after?
Foot down. Ball. That's pretty clear there. Does the ball juggle or bobble after that point? It's like he's got complete control of that. I think this is going to be upheld, Dave. I mean, that is outstanding concentration, back line, knowing exactly where you are. Really good body control there by Andrell Anthony.
If this is upheld, it's a touchdown. Duke's got the PAT group out there. He's surprised by that decision. A 2-point conversion would tie the game.
No, early in the game, I think walk away. If this is upheld, a touchdown, cut it to 1 point before halftime. I think you feel good about that if you're Manny Diaz. You agree? I feel like this is going to be upheld based off the pick.
I think so, too. It did look like he secured it. And the ball stayed in his control after the foot came off the ground. And he landed out of bounds.
After
I'm a little
review,
surprised not
the
going
field
for
is
2.
upheld. Touchdown.
I mean, we're in a day and age of analytics where we see guys going for 2 in the first quarter sometimes, and guys going up for 4th down and 1 on their own 25-yard line.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the analytics say to kick the extra point here. I can assure you at Duke, Manny Diaz very analytical. I would imagine that's somewhat in play.
And Polino hits it, so it's a 1-point game. Now, Darian Mensa, and we talked about what Duke has invested in him. He was very much worth it on that possession.
He pays it off indeed. ROI there from Duke on their young quarterback. Something they needed. They needed a spark to turn the tide. And remember, this was after a turnover, after he lost the football to lead them down in this 2-minute scenario situation. Not the big back shoulder to Andrell Anthony. And this was so costly. A gift given from Daniel Brown, the roughing the passer, and now moving to his right. He's really looked good today in the first half, moving to his right. Put that up high away from the defender. And Andrell Anthony with a toe tap back of the end zone. And Duke back in this with some momentum heading into halftime.
2 personal foul penalties on Illinois had led to the 13 points. He had the face mask on the opening drive, which kept it alive for Duke. And they ended up getting 3 points, and then the one you just talked about, which led to the Duke touchdown. Now Polino kicking off. We've yet to have a kick return. Every one has ended in a touchback, and so will this one. And Illinois has 1 timeout left, 8 seconds to work with. We'll see if they just take a knee or try to have Altmyer chuck it downfield.
I would expect a knee coming here, Dave, or at least run it out. Take it into halftime.
Looks like it's going to be just taking a knee because you got that offensive player 10 yards deep in the backfield. Things got really interesting in the second quarter. Both quarterbacks settled in. And it's a 1-point game at halftime. Both Altmyer and Mensah with a touchdown pass here in the first half. And let's go to Taylor.
Thank you, Dave. Coach, they've been able to get a lot of pressure on your quarterback, and you haven't been able to run the football. How do you address that at half?
Well, we got to adjust to our halftime. And, you know, biggest thing is we give it up too many negative yard plays, playing behind the chain. Got to get your quarterback on rhythm, and then obviously the play there at the end, we can't beat ourselves.
How do you address their quarterback and the way he's moving the football?
Yeah, we knew we wanted to keep the ball in front of us. They haven't got the ball over the top except for right at the end of the half. So, again, played 14 minutes in 29 minutes of good football and live up some stupid plays there at the end.
Thank you. Dave?
All right, Taylor. 14-13, Illinois at halftime. Sending you now to the studio, the Avocados from Mexico halftime report with Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, E.J. Manuel. Miami, and it's worked to perfection so far in this game. They'll try to establish the ground attack here on first down, and there's not much. What a big hit by Nick Moore, slamming the ball carrier to the ground. Lawfrey after a gain of a couple.
Nick Morris all over the place in that first half, spearheading the front of Duke. And this offensive line of Illinois, second most starts in all of college football coming into this game. And you just kind of thought they would have a leg up in this battle at the line of scrimmage. We still have an entire half to go, but in that first half, where they had their work cut out for them from this Duke front.
Pitch to Lawfrey, in trouble, and down he goes. Got slapped again by Morris for another negative play. Loss of 3. Chandler Rivers was there first.
Yes, a corner going to really do a good job setting this firm edge. You see that? And then it's over the top from Nick Morris Jr. This is just good team defense. You got a smaller corner doing a nice job being outside, and then a scraping linebacker with the big punishing hit. Here they are, an area they lived in the first half. 3rd and long once again. Tight end now lined up over here on Vincent Anthony Jr. to try to slow down this pass rusher.
3 sacks in the first half for him. They run away from him, and Altmyer gets rid of the pass, throwing it behind the sticks to Beatty, and he's gang tackled at the 30. A quick 3 and out to start the 3rd for Illinois.
Boy, just so much energy, Dave, from this Duke defense. It's the way they started the game in the first half, and it's the way they start the second half, flying around. You mentioned they move the pocket, get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback, Luke Altmyer, to Hank Beatty, but then rallying to the football. Excellent start for Manny Diaz's defense.
And if Duke, we talked about the Illinois side of it, if Duke can do this against Illinois' offensive line, how will the Blue Devils do against the great teams of the ACC? They have to go to Clemson this year and play home against Georgia Tech. They do not play Miami or Florida State. Wayshawn Brown, who had the muff punt, juggled that one, and down he goes at about the 17-yard line after a 52-yard punt. There is a penalty marker down, in fact 4 of them back near the line of scrimmage.
Equipment violation. Receiving team had 2 players wearing number 8. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That is just a terrible mistake if you're Duke. That can't happen.
Wow. Manny Diaz, how does he allow that to happen? And this is why we see this. If you're to have 2 guys on a special teams unit to wear the same number, you've got to change a guy's number for that. They don't do it. It gets caught. And just a costly penalty and a gift given to Illinois here to start this second half.
It does. They practice that all week when you have two guys. One guy's got his normal jersey, and the other guy will wear another number without a name on the back, just a flip jersey.
Deshaun Stone and Jaden Moore both wearing number 8 out there on that punt return for Duke.
So it results in an Illinois first down from its 35-yard line. Altmyer off play action, throws deep, wide open is Beatty, caught at the 35. Hand fights with the defender all the way to the 29-yard line. A 35-yard pickup.
But Chandler Rivers is going to be running man-to-man with Hank Beatty. He falls down. He falls down at the top of the route when Hank Beatty makes his move and his cut. Rivers falls down, open grass out in front, and a really good find from Luke Altmyer, cashing in immediately after the gift from Duke.
And Caleb Weaver, who was trying to make that tackle and eventually did, is injured for Duke. So that is 5 catches for Hank Beatty. Illinois lost a lot at receiver. In particular, Pat Bryant, who was a 3rd-round pick by the Broncos, is going to be a big part of what they do with Bo Nix and that group this year. Yet we've seen guys step up. Bowick last week with a couple of touchdowns, had a nice catch in the first half, and Beatty's been great through both games here in 2025.
Yeah, they went and got Justin Bowick from Ball State. They also added Hudson Clement from West Virginia, who they really like a lot. We've talked a little about Collin Dixon, but really it's the veteran. It's the guy who's been there for a very long time, who has stepped up here early in the season. And Hank Beatty has just been excellent as a receiver, as a punt returner, really filling that void that they had coming into the year at receiver.
So another Duke mistake leads to an Illinois first down, and now they're on the move inside the 30.
Look, turnovers are tough to stomach, but that is going to be one of the tougher ones for Manny Diaz to come to grips with. You know, just not knowing, or whoever is unaware that there should be a jersey change and having the same number on the field just can't happen in a situation like that. And to Illinois' credit, boy, they strike immediately after the miscue from Duke and put themselves in prime real estate.
Altmyer with a pump fake and throws, and it's almost picked off on the redirection. It hit Nick Morris after Clement had a chance to make the catch, but Chandler Rivers was there defensively. Rivers a little slow to get up.
Boy, plant drive on the football, and you're going to see Chandler Rivers come in with that left hand and punch that football out. That's an excellent job of being precise with that punch through the football and knocking it loose and creating the pass breakup, because Hudson Clement was wide open, pass was there, but a really nice job by Rivers with the left hand.
But he's out because he's banged up, so you got 2 starters right now down in the secondary for Duke. Injured on this drive. Altmyer has a completion, a first down to Clement, out of bounds at the 17. Tackled by Robinson. Another first down for the Illini.
It's a great route by Hudson Clement. I mean, he's just going to sit down right here in the soft spot of this zone, and Luke Altmyer is going to locate his target. Good protection, plenty of time. Sits down right there outside of the linebacker, Nick Morris Jr., moving the sticks once again.
On the Duke 17, Fagan up the gut, gets drilled by Trey Freeman. Came in with a shoulder and hit him. Tyshawn Reed in there too to spin him to the ground.
They should have been able to get anything going. I mean, they tried to run some zone, tried to go with a counter there, pull a couple of backside linemen, but nowhere to go, no space created, and that's that vertical penetration downhill from the linebackers of this Duke front seven.
Altmyer again with a pump and throw over the middle, and he had a receiver, but Dixon The intended target could not catch up to that bullet thrown by Altmyer. He was facing pressure. Maybe had to get rid of it quickly there. He's on the ground.
He was facing pressure, but man, he wishes he could have this back because it's one-on-one coverage. And Collin Dixon wins. He wins inside, and he's got him. If he just puts that pass a little bit more on the numbers, it's a walk-in touchdown.
A 3rd down and 9 for Illinois.
Showing a lot of pressure, checking at the line, Luke Altmyer.
Play clock down to 1. Snapped in time. Altmyer has a receiver open, and Beatty stayed in bounds. Got inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 8, bringing up 4th down.
Well, they brought pressure. It was picked up. Illinois lucky they didn't draw a hold call. Sorry, my apologies, from Justin Bowick on the perimeter.
They're going for it here, Dusty. Do you like the decision?
I do like the decision to go for it here from Illinois.
4th and 1 at the 8. They've got again Caden Fagan in. He picked up a 1st down on 4th down in the first half. Lined up behind Altmyer. And Fagan's got it. Great push from that offensive line. 1st and goal for Illinois.
Good double inside by Josh Kreutz, the right guard, Brandon Henderson. They finally got some movement at the point of attack, and one of the better jobs we've seen. Watch this double right here as they work up. That's exactly where Fagans is going to follow, off that right side.
And for Josh Kreutz, it's his 26th straight start at center. Grad student. We already talked in the first half about his dad, Olin. 6 Pro Bowls as a center for the Bears. 1st and goal on the 4. They'll keep Fagan in the game. A couple of tight ends. And an extra offensive lineman as well. Altmyer throws, and it is caught, and it's a touchdown. And it's Justin Bowick, his 3rd touchdown already for Illinois this season.
He's got that 6'4", 210-pound frame. Just able to wall off that defender. Maury Robinson giving a lot of size to Justin Bowick. And a dart fired from Luke Altmyer.
Justin Bowick had 1 FCS offer in high school, Eastern Illinois. That's where he went for a couple years and transferred to Ball State. Now he's at Illinois and making headlines with the way he's played the first 2 games. The extra point makes it 21-13.
With Justin Bowick, he's been the red zone target for Luke Altmyer in Illinois so far this season. A little head fake outside, he gets to the inside. And the senior quarterback loves the touchdown for the Illini.
Up on Syracuse, 17-6.
All right, Matt, here it's 21-13, Illinois leading Duke as we look at our weekend lineup brought to you by Wendy's. Got 4 ranked teams in the ACC. And tonight you've got Michigan, Oklahoma, Big Ten SEC game in Norman. Game day was there today. A lot of people feel like Mississippi State is improved, hosting number 12 Arizona State tonight.
Defense better. Sam Levitt, boy, he can roll. Big challenge for the Bulldogs. Border roar back, Kansas, Missouri, but all eyes will be at Norman. My question is, can Michigan run the football on that defensive line of Oklahoma? Going to be a huge factor in that game.
Darian Mensah, the Tulane transfer. Incomplete pass trying to hit Quayshawn Brown. So Illinois had a 75-yard drive, 11 plays, but it should have been a 3-and-out. Duke had 2 players wearing the same number out there on the punt, and it cost them 5 yards and a 1st down. Illinois again capitalizing on a Duke mistake like they did in the first half, taking a muff punt in the early going of the game and turning that into 7 points. And that's the difference in the game right now. Mensah throwing on 2nd down. Jaquez Moore. And tripped up just short of a 1st down. 3rd down and 2 coming up.
He's going to his check down, get the ball to Jaquez Moore. We haven't seen the ball in his hands much today. They were so excited coming into today, getting him back, being healthy. Saw him early in the opening drive, but not much since. third and manageable situation here for Mensa in this Duke offense.
Good tackle by Tyler Strain to slow down Moore, keep him from getting to the chains. Mensa again on the roll to the right. And Moore is open, hugging the sideline, got the first down after the catch. Brought down by Bailey.
Well, Matthew Bailey is going to be in good spot in coverage. And as this thing rolls, Matthew Bailey is going to start to work back toward the quarterback. Right here, he freezes, he starts working back to the quarterback, and now it's an easy find on the outside. Matthew Bailey felt that crosser, set it down, and Mensa patience, waiting for that running back to come open in the flat.
Again, Illinois taking time with its substitutions. So the play clock's at 4 as Mensa with a long throw has a completion, and Samir Higgins is loose in the secondary. And he fumbles the ball on the sideline at the 38, and Illinois jumps on it. Another turnover by Duke. Matthew Bailey forced it. Caleb Patterson recovers the loose ball.
Well, the mistakes and the miscues continue for the Duke Blue Devils. Reminds me of my old teammate, Peanut Tillman, the peanut punch. Matthew Bailey, hand on the football, it's loose. Illinois is on top. Third takeaway of the day for the Illini. Miscues have plagued this Duke team here today. A muff punt early in this ball game by Quayshawn Brown. Then it was a sack strip fumble forced by Gabe Jacas. We had 2 number 8s on the field in the opening possession this second half on a punt. Illinois turns into a touchdown this last possession. Matthew Bailey punches the ball out, and it's Patterson on top. The miscues have been detrimental here so far to this 8-point deficit for the Blue Devils.
Illinois takes over on the 39-yard line. Luke Altmyer with 2 touchdown passes so far here today. And Altmyer keeps it himself and gets to the 42 for 3. Here's Taylor.
Dave, this is when you need your quarterback, Darian Mensa, to step up and be a vocal leader. And I have seen him do that, going up to his receiver saying, we have to move forward. That's the message. Everybody, we have to keep going. There's still a lot of football to be played. Put this one behind us.
And Taylor, that leadership you're talking about, the Duke coaches said that he grabbed his teammates early on, got their attention with his leadership. That's not easy to do as a transfer. Play action for Altmyer, setting up his pass, knocked down. Luke Mergott almost picked that one off.
Mergott, excellent job getting in that throwing lane, getting a hand on the football, reading the eyes of the quarterback the whole way. And a 3rd and long situation here for Illinois. They're going to show pressure as they've done all throughout.
Altmyer, long throw, and it's pulled in. What a toss that time by Altmyer to Beatty, because Caleb Weaver, the DB, had a beat on the ball. There is a flag down, and it's going to be on Duke, so this will stand.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 97. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
On Wes Williams.
Yeah, Wesley Williams off the edge. Gets there just a beat too late. Once that quarterback releases the football, you've got to find a way to throttle back and lay off. That tacks on 15. To watch this route at the top, just the timing, the route, so precise, so good. As Hank Beatty once again, that go-to guy. A couple of veterans who played a lot of football together, and Luke Altmyer relying on Hank Beatty once again in a big spot.
And you add on the 15 yards, so 33 yards total, including the penalty. And the ball is now on the Duke 25.
Wildcat here.
And it's Hank Beatty who keeps it himself and has a lane inside the 10. Touchdown, Illinois! 1 minute after another takeaway for Illinois. The Illini hit pay dirt, and we have our first 2-score advantage for either team. Alano makes it a 15-point game.
Well, give Barry Lunny a lot of credit for breaking out all the stops. We're going to see motion from the quarterback, Luke Altmyer, going out. We'll see Hank Beatty come in. Watch the blocking on the edge. It's Priestley here. It's a block here, and then follow your big, physical running back, Caden Fagan, and take it to the house. Hank Beatty's having himself a day, and the Illini up 2 scores here in Durham.
The number 11 Illinois Fighting Illini meeting the challenge of an early season tough road game, leading 28-13. Duke will start this drive on the 25, and Hank Beatty, who last year didn't have any 100-yard receiving games, has now 2 in a row this season, along with last week a punt return for a touchdown and a rushing touchdown just a moment ago.
He has been massive for this Illinois offense, but I love before the 25-yard rushing touchdown, he had a huge 3rd down catch that he's just running good routes, running away from coverage, and being that go-to glue guy that this Illinois offense desperately needs.
One of the reasons they got Darian Mensah for his leadership and how calm he is under pressure, facing the most pressure yet as a Blue Devil now. And he's got a completion over the middle, and Moore breaks a tackle, keeps going past the 45, and dives out near midfield. Great start to the drive for the Devils.
Pressure on Darian Mensah. He's got it right in his face, and he finds yet again, 3rd time this half, finds his check down, gets the ball to Jaquez Moore, and just very, very elusive in the open field after the catch.
Moore gets the carry, and there's nothing there, but at least they're giving him some touches, Dusty, because on that opening drive where they went and got points to start the game, he was featured, and then we didn't hear much from him.
Yeah, I thought he'd have a bigger impact on this game. Seeing it more so as a pass catcher here in the second half, but yeah, just get him touches, get the ball in his hands, and they definitely feel like good things are going to happen with this offense. The true freshman, Nate Shepard, checks in, who offensive coordinator Jonathan Brewer told us he likes a lot and can be electric as the slow substitution incurs again for Illinois.
Mensah drops back to pass. Barkett comes free inside the 15 and inside the 10. Terrific execution by Mensah. Had the secondary for Illinois fooled, and it goes for 41.
So well done by Darian Mensah. He baited that corner. Torrey Cox got his eyes on him like he'd be a runner, froze him, and then found his target, Barkett, down the field.
So it's 1st down and goal. Nate Shepard gets a push and down to the 4-yard line.
Torrey Cox Jr. watch. His eyes are going to get caught in the backfield as Mensah looks to become a runner. He freezes. Barkett explodes in a big game.
Wow, what a hit. Shepard gets walloped that time in the hole by JoJo Hayden. It'll be 3rd down and goal. 4-down territory.
This is definitely 4-down territory. You got 2 to get in the end zone. Now down 15. I know there's still 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, but I think Manny Diaz feels like to get us back in this game, we've got to come away with a touchdown.
So it gives you options here. Run or pass on 3rd and goal from the 4. Anderson Castle, short yardage back is in. Mensah to throw. Moving to his right, and now tucks and ends up losing yardage. He's got to throw that ball away. Got to throw that ball away instead of taking a 2-yard sack, stepping out at the 5 or 6 yard line. Poor awareness on that play.
It really was. You know, you expect him to get rid of the football. He's outside the pocket. Even if you don't want to put the ball in harm's way, don't lose the yardage there in that spot. And as we expected, the offense, even with the 2-yard loss, stays on the field.
You're outside the pocket. Just throw it out of the end zone.
crowd wanting a little extracurricular from Curtin Hill after. I thought it was a good no call.
So now it's 4th and goal from the 6 after a 2-yard loss. Mensa, end zone, touchdown! Andrell Anthony. They've hooked up twice now here today. Mensa and Anthony for scores. And Duke will go for 2.
Going for 2 now. I think that they're probably in the analytics book. I know you asked me in the first half, do you go for 2 here? Potentially doesn't say it there, but says it now.
Let's go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. Castle stays in the game at running back. Mensa, roll to the right, in trouble, lobs back of the end zone and thrown out of bounds. Unsuccessful conversion attempt. But Duke gets on the board with 6. Still a 2-possession game, but a nice bounce-back drive by Mensa and company.
Well, Andrell Anthony has been so crucial in the red zone here today. His 2nd red zone touchdown. Watch the slant. He's going to stop up here, and he's going to work back inside on the slant. He's working on one of the best, Xavier Scott. He gives that slight hesitation, and he freezes Xavier Scott, comes back inside, open, and a really good find from Darian Mensa. The route set up the touchdown for Andrell Anthony. That's the answer you wanted to see from your quarterback and your offense.
And it wasn't perfect. Had the mistake on 3rd down, but responds with a strike to Anthony on 4th down. And we will have our first kick return. The ball is muffed by Ballantyne, but he scoops it up, gets past the 25 and out to the 27-yard line. Take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Notre Dame, after losing to Miami last week, is off. LSU, which jumped all the way to number 3 after winning in Clemson, faces Louisiana Tech tonight. Ohio State's got Grambling, and Penn State rolling over FIU.
With Penn State, talk about teams bringing so much back. They got off to a good start a week ago against Nevada, and continuing to roll. That defense is going to be stout with Jim Knowles coming to town. And here's the Texas and Arch Manning. Improvements here in week number 2 against San Jose State, at least early in the 2nd half.
There were a lot of overreactions last week. Were you one of them? Did you feel like you overreacted initially? Or
no, because I didn't have the bar set as high for Arch Manning. You know, I expected, I liked Texas to win the game, but I thought it was because of their defense. But their defense did hold Ohio State to 203 yards. But having said that, I did think that Arch Manning would play a little bit better. But long season, he's going to improve. The more snaps he plays, the better he's going to be.
Ismail Kante, the injured player for Illinois. So while we have a moment, let's go back to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, Dave, I'm going to follow up that discussion you were just having. Arch Manning just ran it in to make it 38-7 Texas. But I want to tell you about TJ Harvey and SMU. Baylor and the Ponies are back and forth, and SMU, because of Harvey, takes a 31-24 lead.
All right, Matt, appreciate it. So it's good to see Kante up. He'll get help to the sideline with Illinois' offense back on the field. Let's check in with Taylor.
Well, Dave, throughout the game today, I've been watching Luke Altmyer with his receivers, and one of the things that stands out to me is they sit right next to each other on the bench. So Illinois really needed a receiver to step up this season, and so far we've seen Hank Beatty do that. And when you're on the sideline, you can watch Luke Altmyer go to his receivers with the iPad and almost draw routes. Hey, this is coming. So they're really able to talk through the game together.
Well, Altmyer has really grown as a leader. He was at Ole Miss. He started the Sugar Bowl back in 2021 when Matt Corral had an injury, and then Jackson Dart the following year was hurt sometimes, and so Altmyer would play, but he told us he wasn't ready for that. He said, I failed at Ole Miss. I questioned if I belonged in college football when he got to Illinois in 2023. And it was an up and down year 2 years ago, but last year he was outstanding in a 10-win season which tied a school record. And he's been brilliant so far here today. Altmyer throwing here, and it's Beatty again on the receiving end. And out past the 45. The passing game is cooking right now for Illinois. Gain of 20.
This connection between Hank Beatty and Luke Altmyer feels unstoppable at this point. You see him just work from the inside. A lot of space. He just shuts it down. And good anticipatory throw there from Luke Altmyer, finding a wide open Hank Beatty once again.
8 catches on 9 targets for Beatty for 128 through the air and the 25-yard rushing score on the last drive. Valentine leveled in the backfield and down. Trey Freeman, the first man there. Another negative play created by that Duke front.
Boy, Trey Freeman going to come right off the edge. Scott-free, runs right into Valentine as soon as he takes the handoff. Aggressive, attacking front we've seen on display all day here for the Duke Blue Devils.
A loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. 10th tackle for a loss for Duke.
Duke has not had an answer for this passing attack from Luke Altmyer here in the second half, though.
They get a little pressure on Altmyer, able to dump it off to Valentine. And he bounces off of a tackler, gets the first down before he steps out. Duke unable to make tackles in the open field. That was Kamari Robinson who missed, and it's an Illinois first down.
Boy, this is speed in the open field. Valentine just running away from the first defender, then running through the second defender, Kamari Robinson. Excellent job after the catch. I told you watching him on film, this group of backs, you had the big Caden Fagan. You've also got Aiden Lawfery, but I thought Khalil Valentine actually provides them a little bit more explosiveness and twitchiness on display there on that first down reception.
And Kamari Robinson, who tried to make that hit and tackle, was shaken up on the play. But Illinois will have the ball inside the 45 of Duke. The Illini team was ranked 12th preseason, their highest in 35 years. They're currently number 11. First time since 2001. You look at their schedule, they have to go to Indiana. They have Ohio State at home. They do have to go to Washington, a long trip, but no Penn State, no Oregon. Those were their 2 of their 3 losses last year in conference play. Could they be a playoff team in 2025? 2 minutes to go in the third. Fagan gets face planted by Nick Morris Jr. They have not won the Big Ten since 2001. They had that great year with Juice Williams and some NFL talent. Ron Zook was the coach back in 2007. They knocked off #1 Ohio State that year. But up and down, mostly down since for the Illinois program. As Altmyer throws complete, and it's Justin Bowick for a first down. Down to the 20 for 21 yards.
Boy, it's just easy pitch and catch right now, and Justin Bowick with a good route, just going to work inside. And another good find from Luke Altmyer. The coverage for Duke right now really struggling. Nobody, you see the communication there on the outside. Callahan trying to communicate on the in-cutting route. Nobody's there. And another good ball delivered from Luke Altmyer. He is playing exceptionally well, especially here in this second half.
273 passing yards on the day. Pitch to Valentine. Again, able to spin away from a would-be tackler, get an additional yard or 2. Pickup of about 3.
And you were just talking about this Illinois schedule. I thought when going back to the summer and looking at teams that could make a run, you identify this and you say, man, this is a very favorable schedule. And with the momentum that created from the end of last season and everything coming back and so many of the stars aligning, it does feel like this has the potential of something special in Champaign. This was a point this season, though, early in week 2. It was really going to test this football team. So far, they're passing the test.
Altmyer gets to the edge and out of bounds with a second left. They're going to run it on the ready for play, and that's the end of the third quarter. Good response by Duke, but Illinois with an excellent reaction of its own. The Illini here in week 2 on the road, trying to build the resume with a big road win, and they're up 9 as we go to the 4th. College football presented by Serve Pro. Illinois trying to get into the playoff conversation with a road win at Duke that would certainly help. Meanwhile, the Duke defense, this feels like a must stop here in 3rd and 2.
Crucial 3rd down situation here for this Duke defense. I expect them to keep the football in their quarterback's hands as he's had the hot hand.
They also have Fagan in, the 255-pound tailback. He gets it, but he comes up short, and boy, it looked like Illinois is going for it all the way on 4th down based on just their body language after the 3rd down play.
I think that's exactly what went into that call, Dave, and I'm a little surprised they have not found much success running the football. And the Duke defense has not had an answer for the quarterback, Luke Altmyer. 2nd time in this half, this area of the field, Brett Bielema going for it. Feels like he's going for the jugular at this point.
I mean, they have to get 2+ yards here. The ball's spotted outside the 12. And some movement. Pre-snap, flags are down.
Right side of that offensive line just a little early.
False start. Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Melvin Priestley on your right side. He's just going to flinch just a little bit. 75, right guard Brandon Henderson, both of them. And makes an easy decision for Brett Bielema to settle for the field goal.
So a mistake by Illinois, finally. Now they do have 7 penalties. That was the costliest of the days. Priestley clearly unhappy. And so David Olano, his first attempt of the day, 35-yard attempt. He was terrific a season ago. And this one's good. So that extends the lead to 31-19. Minute gone by in the 4th. Here's Matt.
All right, Dave, probably a little bit of breathing room now for the number 2 team in the country. It was 20-0 late 4th quarter against FIU. Then Katron Allen bails them out. 67 yards for the touchdown. 27-0 Penn State in a really unmotivated game out of the Nittany Lions. And one more to keep you up on. SMU has now separated themselves from Baylor 38-24. That one midway through the 4th quarter.
It's an important win right there. Rhett Lashley has been fabulous since he's been the head coach there at SMU. Winning an American championship, making it to an ACC championship in year number 1. You kind of thought what was in store for year 2 for SMU inside the ACC. I think that's a Baylor football team that they lost to Auburn a week ago that a lot of people, myself included, thinks a good team. It's an impressive performance here so far today from SMU. The Pony's going to be right back in the thick of things here in the ACC, Dave.
Now the ACC right now has 4 ranked teams. Miami the highest at 5, Clemson 8, Florida State 14, and SMU 17. You would think Duke would join the ranked teams if they can somehow come back and get a win here against the 11th ranked Illini. Touchback, it'll come out to the 25. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Duke has not defeated a non-ACC AP ranked team since 1971. They've lost 32 in a row. Who did they beat, Dusty? Back in old 71.
Well, you were probably on the call for that game, so you probably have a better recollection of it than me.
I wasn't born yet, but that's all right. But neither were you.
No?
No idea, huh?
I don't have any idea.
It's a team that's currently in the ACC, but wasn't then. How about that? You like that? Castle up the middle for Duke on the first play of this drive.
Would it potentially be the Cal Bears?
You're close.
The Stanford Cardinal.
Well, I'll answer it right now. Aflac trivia question answer. October 2nd, 1971, the last non-ACC AP ranked team was 10th ranked Stanford. Off play action, Mensah. Everybody covered deep. And he throws underneath. And down at the 31 is Landon King after the catch. He dropped a touchdown in the first half, although there was an offensive penalty anyway. But he's been part of the mistake-filled day for Duke.
Now a big third down for this Duke offense. Darian Mensah. Barcade up top. With great comfort with his new wide receiver.
Illinois rushes 5, and Barcade over the middle got the first down, trying to outrun the defender as he turns it upfield. Out of bounds past the 45-yard line to the 48 for a gain of 17.
They want to set up the wide receiver screen. You're going to see him start here, work all the way across, and try to get a little bit of pick from his tight end, who runs his defender into that man. Good play design and great execution on a crucial third down situation.
Barcade at over 100 yards last week in his Duke debut. Graduated from Harvard in 3 years and was an FCS All-America. 3 catches, 68 yards so far today. Duke inching closer to midfield. Down 12, needing 2 scores. Mensah, as the pocket breaks down, on the move. Keeps the ball, crosses midfield, and gets positive yardage. A pickup of 3.
Rarely do we see Mensah keep the ball. He kept his eyes downfield as long as he could. Nothing able to come open, and wisely just tucks it and gets what he can get for a positive gain on first down.
He is over 300 passing yards, the 5th of his career. Just a 1-year starter at Tulane. He entered last year as the number 3 quarterback, scout team QB, in training camp, but John Sumrall and his staff saw something more. He became the starter, and now he's making a reported $3.5 million a year at Duke. Mensah steps up here, throws complete, first down. Barcade breaks a tackle, and finally knocked down a play inside the 30-yard line.
Well, one of the reasons they liked him so much at Duke was navigating a messy pocket. The pressure's going to come home immediately, and watch just the comfort in the pocket. Step up, eyes downfield, locate your target, and nice job after the catch by Barcade.
That play goes for 22 yards. Mensah out of an empty set, and a quick throw to the sideline, broken up by Cox. It was Jaden Moore who was the intended target.
That play was a perfect illustration of what drew Manny Diaz, Jonathan Brewer so closely to Darian Mensah, with the pressure in his face and the cool, calm collectedness and the ability to navigate the pressure and still be able to locate targets down the field.
Mensah to the air again, moving left this time, floating it to Moore, and it's picked off inside the 15-yard line by Tanner Heckel. That was a great interception and another giveaway by the Duke offense.
Boy, Tanner Heckel is going to do a great job in coverage. Going to try to hit Jaden Moore on an outside out and up. And Heckel eyes on the quarterback. Pass underthrown. Heckel with another takeaway for Illinois.
Mensah with the interception, the 4th giveaway by Duke. They also had a bad penalty on special teams that kept the drive alive, that led to a touchdown. And Altmyer comes out throwing, and the ball is caught by Elzy for a first down at the 22.
Great concentration going down to the ground and getting his hand underneath this football. This pass thrown behind and low of Elzy. Strong hands going down to get that ball.
Wonder if Duke assumed that Illinois would come out and just run the ball with a 12-point lead, but Barry Lunny Jr., who's the longest tenured offensive coordinator in the Big Ten right now in his 4th year, said, we're going to come out throwing. Taking the play clock down to about 2 seconds before the snap. And some room for Beatty up the gut. to the 29 for about 7 yards.
Luke Altmyer, one of the things that's made him so effective last year coming into this year, the good decisions, cutting back on the turnovers. No turnovers today for this Illinois offense. He has been extremely efficient all throughout the course of this ball game. It's really tipped my cap to him.
Got an injured player too here, Dusty. That was Fagan, the ball carrier. Tanner Arkin, the tight end, is shaken up. So while we have a moment, let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, just a reminder, we got a college football scoreboard coming up when your game goes final, and then the women's final at the U.S. Open. Both players are on the court warming up as we speak. Sabalenka and Anisanova, they are both getting set. 45 minutes to the women's final at the U.S. Open, coming up 4 p.m. Eastern right here on ESPN.
All right, Matt. Still got some work to do here. 10:03 remaining with Illinois up 12 as Arkin is walking under his own power to the Illinois sideline. We mentioned Illinois does not play Penn State or Oregon this year. They have to go to Bloomington on September 20th. They have to go to Washington and Wisconsin. They got Western Illinois last week, won that game. Western Michigan next week. Don't know yet how good USC is going to be. At Washington could be interesting as well.
I think that at Indiana, USC back-to-back, it's going to be very telling. If they can get to Ohio State undefeated, well, you set yourself up before you hit the bye week in a really, really good spot coming home down the stretch.
Fagan again, the running back. They got him in here late. Got to lean on that defensive line as Fagan breaks a tackle and gets the first down. He stiff-armed Trey Freeman that time. Freeman is still down. Now he hops to his feet, but that was all Caden Fagan.
But Caden Fagan pulling out a Derrick Henry stiff arm as he just throws Trey Freeman to the ground, picking up yards after that contact.
I mean, he's bigger than Freeman by 20 pounds.
Yeah, he's 255 and some. Big physical running back, and typically we don't see him with a lot of negative plays. We've seen it here today, but you see the power and strength from Fagan on that run.
Against the 3-year starter at linebacker, Freeman. Now he got a timeout here by Illinois with a play clock at 1.
Charge timeout, Illinois, their first of the half.
So 31-19, Illinois in front, trying to use some clock here in the fourth quarter to get out of Durham with a win. Caden Fagan slamming Freeman to the ground. Okay, pass Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor.
College football is presented by Serve Pro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration, and in part by Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
It is hard to find continuity these days in college football, but Illinois has it. With their offensive line, their quarterback, both coordinators returning. Third straight year they've had the same QB, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Only team in the Power 4 that can say that. And that experience has been on full display, taking advantage of a lot of mental errors by Duke. Fagan picks up 2 yards there as they try to milk the clock here, up 12.
You've got all that continuity, and you've got a smart football team that doesn't beat themselves. It was a recipe for success a year ago, and it's been a recipe for success here this afternoon. Duke, the exact opposite, miscues galore throughout the course of this ball game, and Illinois time and time again has taken advantage of those miscues.
Altmyer will throw, and he slings it complete, close to a first down, and Malik Elzy has it. Dusty, I don't know that Brett Bielema gets enough credit nationally for how good of a coach he is. You think about when 20 years ago Barry Alvarez built the Wisconsin program, turned the keys over to Brett Bielema, which some thought at the time was a bit controversial because of some of the other guys on the staff. Bielema was not a Wisconsin guy. He played at Iowa. He was great there, but he saw greener pastures potentially at Arkansas. It didn't work out, but he has built Illinois now into a contender.
3 Big Ten championships at Wisconsin, and has Illinois in just a prime position to do something special here this season. It's unbelievably impressive, and He's so charismatic when you talk to him. He's got great relationships with his players, with his coaches, talking with Aaron Henry, a former player of his, now a coach of his. We talked with Luke Altmyer about his coach. He said Coach Bielema is intentional with his relationships, making sure he has a relationship with every one of his players. And he told us, you know, one of the real keys is making sure that his players know that he believes in them. And boy, there is just confidence oozing out of this program right now under the leadership and the guidance of Brett Bielema.
Melvin Priestley, his right tackle, shaken up. Well, when Bielema was let go by Arkansas, spent a little time in the NFL with Bill Belichick as an analyst with the Patriots, then also with Joe Judge and the Giants. Said that helped him. Coach Russell Wilson at Wisconsin. He's had good quarterbacks, and he said Luke Altmyer sees the game as well as anyone that I've coached, and that says something when you consider Russell Wilson was a Heisman candidate that last year. They went to the Rose Bowl with Wilson at Wisconsin, but Altmyer has really grown, and we're again seeing that show up in a major way here today. Here's Valentine on the pitch, and he's got the first down. Knocked out of bounds. We stopped the clock momentarily, so they reset the sticks with 7:14 to go.
Well, there's that speed on the perimeter for Khalil Valentine. Good blocking on the edge. Davin Stoffel getting out in front and doing a good job helping secure, and you see the speed. Khalil Valentine, he is a home run hitter. It's a good combination you have in this backfield. We haven't seen it on display through the entirety. They're starting to run the football more effectively here in this fourth quarter, but when they get into Big Ten play, they trust their quarterback, Luke Altmyer, but they want to have balance with the offensive line, and they've got a bevy of running backs that they trust.
Fagan again. Dragged down after a short game. Hot and humid, so Illinois hoping to take advantage of a tired defense here and close this out. 6:20 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Got another Big Ten team in action on our network tonight. Number 15 Michigan is in Norman to play Oklahoma on ABC. Both the SEC and Big Ten have 5 teams in the top 15 of this week's AP poll. On second down, keeping it is Altmyer. Got a blocker out there, and finally taken down out of bounds at the 10-yard line, bringing up first down and goal.
This is such a good read by Luke Altmyer. He's going to read the defensive end, Wesley Williams, and as he crashes inside, it's going to be a keep all the way, and then he just allows his tight end Stoffel to escort him down the football field. Smart play once again by Luke Altmyer. Take what the defense gives you. When that defensive end crashes and there's no edge player, it's an easy read in a big game.
And then you saw Altmyer motioning to the Illinois crowd. There's actually more Illini fans in the stands right now than Duke fans. Fagan down to the 3-yard line inside 5 minutes to go.
They have traveled well here today to Durham, North Carolina. Proud of this football team. There's a buzz in Champaign, more so than there's been in a long, long time. Brett Bielema talked to us about that. Said he tried to insulate his guys, try to keep this a humble group, block out the noise and all the outside expectations. They've got expectations within that building, but trying to do the best they can. But boy, if you're an Illinois fan right now, you've got to be on cloud 9 and feeling great about your football team, not just now, but the prospects for this 2025 season.
Looking to put Duke away. Fagan not down yet. He had his feet up, but now they blow it dead at the 2, so it'll be 3rd and goal from there. And Duke will call a timeout. That will leave the Blue Devils with 2. 4:17 to go. Illinois up 12 late in Durham. Well, Matt, Syracuse needs that after the great season they had a year ago. Lost handily in Atlanta to Tennessee week 1. Meanwhile, this drive, almost 7 minutes, as they've kept it on the ground for a good part of it. 3rd and goal. That's Valentine in motion. Altmyer throws complete for a touchdown to Collin Dixon. Great design and execution as Illinois puts this one away.
But Barry Lundy has done an excellent job here in the second half. They're going to have quads to the outside and just set up a wide receiver screen to Dixon. Motion's going to come across, and you're going to see Dixon just work right back inside. It's good blocking on the perimeter. Got multiple tight ends outside that help pave the way, and a walk-in touchdown to cap off a statement drive that ultimately ends this ball game.
And maybe a statement game for Illinois across college football. The extra point makes it 38-19.
And that's on the heels of that Darian Mensah interception, an underthrown pass that if he puts the ball where it needs to be, might have been a touchdown. Underthrows it, it's a takeaway, and then it's arguably one of the most impressive drives of the day. 12 plays, 89 yards, and cap it off with that touchdown. And that was the uppercut delivered here by Illinois. And I agree with you. This is a statement win. This is a game that a lot of people pointed to here today. Could be problematic, could be a place where Illinois gets upset. They came in here, and they have been very impressive in a walkout with a quality win at Duke.
Tonight on ABC, it's Michigan and Oklahoma. Wolverine quarterback Bryce Underwood always knew he wanted to play in Ann Arbor.
What team will you be playing with this year?
I'm going to bring my talent to the Michigan Wolverines.
Had a great debut against New Mexico with more than 250 yards passing last week.
That's a great piece of video. I've not seen that video anywhere else. And well, he was impressive last week, Dave. #1 player, #1 quarterback coming into the season, this previous recruiting class. He lived up to the billing. It's going to be a tall task today, though, against a Brent Venables defense, and what I will promise you will be an electric environment there in Norman, a game that Oklahoma needs to have. And I mentioned Sharon Moore, who played at Oklahoma, returns back to his alma mater with his football team. What a matchup we've got tonight on ABC.
Got also up next Ole Miss and Kentucky. Ole Miss lost to the Wildcats in Oxford last year, looking to get them back. Coming up just moments away on ABC. Mensah to the air on first down with his team down 19. And he gets hit from behind, fumbles the ball again. That happened earlier, and it's another turnover, the 5th of the day. Heckel forced the fumble, recovered by Malachi Hood.
Well, it's Tanner Heckel off the edge. And this is similar to the earlier fumble that we saw him have. Tanner Heckel is going to blitz. He's going to get up the field. He's going to shut it down. And then he's going to work back to the quarterback. And Darian Mensah never feels him. Never feels Heckel working back. And a big hit delivered. Ball's on the ground. And Illinois once again is on top of it. That's the second time where Mensah did not feel the pressure working back to him. And the third turnover for the quarterback that this Duke coaching staff just raved and felt unbelievable about heading into this ball game.
And -5 overall in turnover ratio for Duke. Meanwhile, this will be interesting to see how Illinois handles the final 4 minutes. Do you try to impress the committee by getting more points and going to the air? Do you just be conservative and try to run out the clock here, keep it on the ground?
I think they're going to run their offense. They're going to run the clock. If they get in a passing situation, they'll probably pass the football, but I'm sure Brett Bielema would love to be able to establish the line of scrimmage and run the ball here down at the end of the game.
And Valentine with room cuts it back, and he'll score. Touchdown, Illinois. They kept it on the ground and still impressed. 44-19.
And that's exactly the way Brett Bielema would have drawn it up. Yeah, he wants the big win for the committee, but he also wants that offensive line, that running game, to take shape and come to life. And a quality job by the offensive line, and an outstanding cutback once again from Khalil Valentine.
I think the committee would have been impressed anyway, but you know, when it comes time towards the end of the year, if it's close and you're looking at games, you're watching games, you're looking at scores, this will stand out. The extra point hits the upright, but it's good. Everything going Illinois' way. It's hard to answer the question if I ask you if Illinois looks like a playoff team, but they look like a really good team. And again, who knows as the season goes along whether some of the teams that they're avoiding, Penn State and Oregon, we assume are going to be good. They do have to play Ohio State at Indiana. The schedule you could say is favorable. But with Luke Altmyer and this offensive line, I mean, they had one of their worst running games we've seen in a while, and they still end up 26 with 4 minutes to go.
This is a really good football team. They're well coached. They're veteran. They've got experience. They know how to win close games. They've proven that. They clearly are doing a great job taking the football away. And with Luke Altmyer, I'll tell you one of my big takeaways from today, without the run game, what he was able to do to still allow this offense to find success, I thought he stepped up in a brilliant way and showed that even by losing his 2 top receivers, they're still going to find a way to be effective throwing the football when they need to. So I walk out of here even more impressed with Illinois than I was coming in.
4 sacks of Altmyer and many more hits, but he hung in there to have a fantastic day.
And he was just great with the football all day, putting the ball in situations where only his guys could get it. You see him navigating the pocket, finding Bowick coming back to the football. I love the touch on this. Finds Cole Rusk up high and away above the defender. Go back to Justin Bowick, just on an inside slant, put it right on the body of his big frame wide receiver. Efficient, effective, and an excellent performance from Luke Altmyer.
Meanwhile, Henry Beelan, the backup quarterback, is in. He started their bowl game last year, lost to Ole Miss, and he gets to the 40-yard line. It's funny, you look at Altmyer, Brett Beelan told us, you know, if you saw Luke Altmyer on the street, they're really close. They, in fact, did the 7th inning stretch, sang it at Wrigley the other day. He said he looks like a guy that you expect to play pickup basketball. I think you sported that same hairdo at one point. I did some 40 years ago,
yes.
But Altmyer certainly looked like quarterback today. And Shepard breaks a tackle and finally down at the 46. Checking with Taylor.
Dave, by the way, I was at Wrigley Field when Altmyer and Bielema sang the stretch. I thought they did a great job together for what it's worth. But the thing that impresses me about Altmyer is how much he wants to be at Illinois. He had opportunity to go elsewhere, maybe make more money, but he has bought into this Illinois program, taking it to a place they've never been before, getting to the college football playoff. And he'll tell you, I dreamt of playing in the SEC. He grew up in Starkville, but he's in Illinois. He's adopted Big Ten country, and he wants to win with this team.
Well, as good as his 7th inning stretch might have been, he doesn't beat you, Taylor. We know you sung it this week at Wrigley. How was that?
That's just because you're nice, okay?
How'd you do?
Well, I didn't mix up the words, okay? I got the words accurate. That was the #1 goal, and I achieved that, so.
All right, how was the pitch and the tone? Well, we're going to find out here in a second. Beelan throwing deep and overthrows Andrell Anthony.
I do think it's interesting what Taylor says, though, about there were schools reported that were after him. That was pretty much confirmed to us. And there was maybe more money out there to lure him away. But he wasn't having it. And Brett Bielema told us that Luke Altmyer came to him and he wanted to talk personnel. He wanted to make sure that the coaching staff was going to remain intact. He wanted to see, you know, if the offensive line was coming back, what receivers were going to do. He said he never mentioned NIL or money whatsoever. It was about more of an executive type of approach to this season and his commitment to this Illinois football team.
Peyton Jones on the catch. We'll see if Manny Diaz calls a timeout, or this takes us down to the 2-minute timeout. And it will. So for those that are still watching that really want to know how it went with Taylor McGregor this week, singing the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field. Back here in Durham, Beelan taking a shot on 3rd long and overthrows the intended receiver. Jaden Moore incomplete. Duke will go for it on 4th and 5. Illinois up 45-19, and Tanner Heckel, who's had a great second half, shaken up.
I'll tell you what was going to be interesting on the Duke side of things, how they rally and rebound from this. They go to Tulane next week. Darian Mintz is going to go back to his former team, and that is a good Tulane football team that just beat Northwestern in week number 1, 23-3. And you know that John Sumrall, head coach at Tulane, looks at that and says, this can be our second Power 4 victory. They're going to have to find a way to flush this, learn from it, clean up the mistakes, and then be able to go out on the road and play a good game to go get a road victory that they're going to need after this loss.
And they only played 2 games in October, which is interesting. But for Tulane, when you think about that, the highest ranked non-Power 4 conference champ gets the college football playoff spot, Tulane is going to be very motivated, along with Mensa coming back to New Orleans, and the weather's probably going to be even hotter and more humid there than it was here today. But if 5 turnovers, you're not going to beat anybody, and Manny Diaz knows that. Uncharacteristic performance in that respect by the Blue Devils here today, and they still have road games at Clemson and Syracuse, Georgia Tech at home. Have to go to Cal early October. We just showed you that. And Duke was picked 5th, ranked at 6th in the ACC preseason poll. They're hoping for a resume builder of their own here today, but it didn't happen. Phelan launches it out of the back of the end zone, and Illinois will take over on downs and is 145 away from victory. So coming up in about 15 minutes here on ESPN, Sabalenka, Anisimova square off in the women's championship at the 2025 U.S. Open. Alcaraz and Sinner will meet in the men's final.
Who you got? Anisimova going to bring it home for the
I think so.
Americans?
I'm going with the lower seed against the 1 seed Sabalenka.
Totally agree. I'm with you.
And you got Sinner or Alcaraz?
I got Sinner. It's tough not to go with Sinner. He's been excellent. That's kind of a new matchup in tennis, right? That's your new Federer, Djokovic, Nadal type of matchup we saw from those 3 for so long.
Look at you, from football analysis to tennis analysis. Next thing we'll know, you'll be singing the 7th inning stretch as a former Bear at Wrigley Field. If Taylor can do it, if Altmyer and Bielema can do it, Dusty can do it.
I will not be taking you out to the ball. Oh, okay. I won't.
The point was to save it and do it, not do it here. We don't want the world. We want the world to wait to be able to see the talent on full display at Wrigley one day.
Just have no fear when you look out and the whole crowd is staring back up at you. We don't get that in TV, okay? We just have to talk into a camera and assume nobody's watching. But when you're at the stretch, you get the full 40,000 glaring up at you.
Hey, Brett Bielema did it. Luke Altmyer did it, right? They laid the groundwork and laid the foundation.
That's true.
What a win here today, man. It really is impressive. Brett Bielema, it was a joy to talk to him last night. He really is one of the great coaches in college football. He's got a good football team. They're going to be a fun team to watch all throughout the course of the season. How will they manage this Big Ten slate? Will it be, will they be able to be one of those teams we're talking about in late October, early November that are right there making a push for the playoff? It feels that way right now, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see. We saw with Indiana last year, and it does feel like Illinois could potentially be one of those type of stories, one of those type of teams here in 2025.
Ethan Hampton, backup quarterback, takes a knee, and this is over. A lot of people expected a very close game, but that did not happen. 4 takeaways for Illinois, and the most points scored in a road game in 10 years, and it's against the 9-win team from a year ago. 45-19 the final score. Luke Altmyer throws for 296 yards and 3 touchdowns in an impressive performance here in the heat in Durham. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, Dave Pasch, saying so long from Durham after a